Hey, this is Max. Welcome back to another CSR2 video. I'm here with the Bac Mono, which is one of the cars that some players have recently acquired as part of events that you're involved with. The Bac Mono is a very good live racer, and here's why. Because it can be built with basically minor upgrades to achieve high evo. Any car like this in the game is always going to be decent in live. However, the Bac Mono has another trick up its sleeve which makes it even better, but those who don't drive it properly soon find themselves a car that is no longer winnable. The Bac Mono is not a new car. A lot of people had it from a long time ago. This version, the blue one, is the milestone version from probably, I would say, 3 years ago almost. So it's been around quite a while. It's been offered a few different times as either PC car, event car, etc., etc. If you have one and you haven't built one, here is what you need to be aware of to make this car useful in live. First things first, this car does not require heavy upgrades to be really successful. I have a particular setup here that is for the 10.9 to 11.2 lobby. However, you can even get away with even less upgrades. No engine, no turbo, no intake, no nitrous. However, the less upgrades you have, the greater the final drive and the crazier the shifts. So this is kind of a balance point for the car where it's doing very well with high evo points, low performance points still in the 640 range, and it can run on average 11 flat pretty easily. 10.989 dyno sounds great in theory, but this car is a little rough to get that 10.989 out of. However, that being said, 11s should be no problem, and generally speaking, with the high evo points of 1881 at 642, assuming you have the fusions, this car with this particular setup can do pretty well in live. This is not a killer tune yet. This is simply a very viable tune that is pretty successful in live against most cars. Not all cars, not down-tuned cars. But we'll talk about the down-tune trick in a bit. Let's go ahead and take 1 or 2 runs in here in the live lobby to see if we can actually win. Again, the 10-second to 12-second lobbies are full of tier 4 cars, and very good ones at that. So it's a very highly competitive lobby where tier 4s tend to dominate and win a lot. But the Bac Mono can hold its own as long as you launch it a little bit on the later side at 6K rather than dead on perfect, because dead on perfect will get you a 0 RPM drop and actually make the car slower. So I can actually slow down a hair at the end, pull my win, and voila, points come in. However, because of the low performance point and even with the high evo, your total points is a 1297. If this is a purple star car, this will be like 13 something. Obviously 1297 is not too shabby, but it could be better. Okay, a fully upgraded car generally pulls 1330 or 1380 RP. So you're giving about 100 points here to give yourself a leverage to be in a stronger lobby position. You can give up some more of this in exchange for more domination in the lobby, and we'll show you that in a minute. Let's go ahead and take another run against somebody here. Super Mouse is probably, this is a good car, by the way. It's quite competitive in the 10 to 12 lobbies as well. So if I can beat this car, obviously then I'm pretty happy with my tune. Alright, again, if you launch dead on 5000, that's going to be a problem. So you want to always be just a hair late. And that takes timing. You can either do the needle drop or you can do the method I use for timing the launch button. Regardless, with this Z, it's going to be a bit of a race. It's not as much of a, you're able to run off at the end without a problem. But as you can see, even though he was catching up, he didn't quite catch me. I was able to take a win yet again. So again, this is a competitive, although once again, if there are cars that are down-tuned in these lobbies, and this is true of any lobby slower than basically 7.7, you can have down-tuned cars. They can beat you, but people who are generally tuned normally, you'll have a pretty competitive run against them. Okay, so let's move back to the garage and let's take a look at the Dyno Buster tune. Literally, to achieve Dyno Busting tune, you're not going to change anything except this. And boom. You get a major drop here of almost 400 plus Evo. The dyno goes from 10.9 to 11.7. However, and let's do this in test run rather than in the live lobby so we don't kill the car. 11.7 doesn't mean you can't run the 11.1 to 2 runs. You can still get those runs in. Yet again, the trick here is do not launch perfect because you get a 0 RPM drop. You have to launch slightly late, which isn't that late, and then just drive it the same way you did earlier, and you will see that the car will still run basically what that 1 point difference will allow you to run in the 1 point difference in the final drive. So you're still running 11.0s at the same mile per hour, despite the fact that dyno is now 11.7. So is that a good thing? Sure. Is it a good thing for you to use it and run 11.0? No. You get bumped almost instantly into faster lobbies doing that. So lobby control also requires self-control. Proper driving of the Bac Mono is extremely important to achieve the capability to win without screwing up your overall performance. So what you're going to do is you're actually going to downshift out of this car's gear, usually by half track. You can also not use nitrous, which doesn't help that much anyway. So this brought me a lot closer back to my 11.79. Can I get it dead on 11.79? Sure. I can, just downshift a little here earlier, and it'll put me at the 11.7 lobby. So, okay. How do you drive it? Just like what I just showed you. You can drive it in the lobby, but understand you're not going to have as much of a lobby advantage now because 642 1480, as nice as it is, isn't a killer combination when it comes to the points, because there are now cars in the game that has 642 and almost 1800 Evo all the time, but they wouldn't be in this lobby. In this lobby, something that has super high Evo like this Griffiths would might be more like 630 something 2000 Evo to be here. They're again very competitive cars, but your ace up your sleeve is you can always run a little faster. Okay, but you're going to have to learn how to control the car. You're going to have to learn how to watch your opponent's car's progression to be able to control how much to slow down and control the win in that format. So you'll watch him slowly catching up, and you will slow down just a hair more to maintain your lead without losing. This again takes a lot of practice to really be good. 11.82, 11.732. I'm in the right lobby for 11.79 dyno. I just ran against one of the top tier 4 cars in live successfully. So that is the Bac Mono strength, is that it is a car that can be set up 2 ways and it can win pretty much either way. Okay, it's again a very strong car as a tier 5 with low upgrades. It gets less strong the more upgrades you put into it. It actually starts to become less and less of a high Evo car as you upgrade it more. However, it maintains its ability to bust dyno for quite a substantial amount of upgrades still. So even in the 8, 9, 10 second lobbies, it can still break dyno by a pretty decent margin and still win utilizing the technique that I'm showing you now, which is to control the actual runs. Again, if you don't control it well, because this is kind of at the 11.8 lobby, I'm running 11.7s. At some point you will bump. Notice the RP is about the same, whether you lose that 400 Evo or not, so you're not losing any RP here. This is why I like this car. I've been using it for years. I don't always use it with this level of upgrades, but certainly there's no wrong way to upgrade this car. And even if you put some more parts in, a little bit less parts in, this is just one of the examples of how this car can be set up. So again, it's a double setup car. As you can see, I've done quite a bit of mileage live racing this car, and I've always had very good success. This car probably has an easy 90% win ratio in my hands over the years, and I quite enjoy this car. Let me know if you have any questions. But again, more upgrades doesn't always make a car better, especially something like this one. The other key part is that this car is heavily reliant on tire and transmission fusions. If you don't have fusions for those, especially transmission, if you don't have fusions, you could lose hundreds of Evo points per fusion. So if you don't have transfusions, especially the epic ones, don't build the car yet. Save it for when it's ready with the fusions. Feel free to comment on this video, ask me questions, set up your own, and let me know how you like your Bac Mono. Again, it's one of my favorite cars in the game and something I would certainly love to own in real life as well. But, you know, great car all around. All these time this car's been in this game, it has not really lost its edge. So I still look at this as one of the top live racers in my repertoire. Thank you for watching my video. If you like the video, leave a like. If you like my channel, you'd like to see more of these videos when I put them up, subscribe, hit the bell. You'll get the notifications. As always, thank you for watching my videos. I'll catch you next time.